Okay, guys, welcome to day one of digital learning. So for the bell work, you should have already done it to check in the Google form that's on Google Classroom. Right now, we're going to take notes on different vocab for this unit, which is angles, and then you guys have a Google form tonight for homework. By the end of class today, you should be able to identify types of angles and their measurements. Okay, so the first vocab term we're going to talk about is vertical angles. So these are angles that are opposite of one another from a pair of straight intersecting lines. So notice that these two lines, very specific that they're straight, and then notice they all share that vertex point here where the two lines intersect. Okay, and if we look, that means angle A and angle B are going to be congruent or equal to one another. And then angle C and angle D are going to be congruent and equal to each other because they're opposite from each other, sharing that vertex. And then notice in the image, we show that they're congruent by angle A and B. They both have that single tick mark on the angle. And then C and D have the double tick mark on the angle. Okay. The next vocab term is supplementary angles. So these are angles that add up to 180 degrees. So here we have line T, and it's being broken up by this line. And this piece of line T is 45 degrees. And then this other piece on this side is 135 degrees. Now these two angles would be considered supplementary angles because if we add 45 and 135 together, we end up getting 180 degrees. So now go ahead and calculate the value of the missing angle of line T. Given that we know that this piece is 44 degrees, how many degrees is this angle X? You should have gotten the equation 44 plus X is equal to 180, because remember, this is a line. By definitions, lines are 180 degrees, so these two angles will be supplementary. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 44 from both sides, and X is equal to 136 degrees. Go ahead and calculate the value of X of the missing angle of line T. And again, you should have set it up with 48 plus 2x plus 12 is equal to 180, because again, lines are 180 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to combine like terms first. So I can combine together this 48 and this 12, and that's going to give me 60. So now I have 2x plus 60 equals 180. Then I'm going to go ahead and subtract 60 from both sides. That gives me 120. I'm going to divide by 2, and x is equal to 60. And then if I go ahead and I also want to figure out what's the value of this missing angle here, I just went ahead and I can do one of two things. You could substitute back in your x into this equation of 2x plus 12, and that'll give you 132. Or you could have also just done, knowing that the whole thing, these two angles, have to add up to 180. You could just do 180 minus 48, and that would also give you 132. The next vocab term is complementary angles. So these are angles that add up to 90 degrees. So notice here in my example, I say angle A is valued at 32 degrees, angle B is valued at 58 degrees, and if we take the sum of these two angles, we get 90 degrees. Okay, so in this example here, A and B are complementary angles, so we want to calculate the value of angle B. So again, I'm going to go ahead and set it up. I know x plus 28 should give me 90 degrees. I'm going to subtract 28 degrees from both sides, and that means that my angle B has to equal 62 degrees. And again here, angle A and angle B are complementary angles, and I want to calculate the value of angle B. So again, I know that the sum of these two angles, A and B, is going to equal 90. So I'm going to set up my equation to be 3x plus 18 plus 27 is equal to 90. And again, here I can combine like terms, 18 and 27. That's going to give me 45. So 3x plus 45 equals 90. And I'm going to subtract 45 from both sides. 3x equals 45 degrees. So x equals 15. And then I just went ahead and I substituted back in my 15 into my equation for angle B. 3 times 15 plus 18 is equal to 63. So that's one way to solve it. And remember, another way is, since I know both angles equal 90 degrees, and I know that this angle here is equal to 27, I know that based off the difference, this angle has to be 63 degrees. So another way that we can actually solve these is, if I wanted to, I could have set 3x plus 18 equal to 63 and then solve for x that way. And then the last term we're going to go over today is transversal lines. This is a line that intersects two or more coplanar lines at different points. So notice this is line M and this is line N. this line here, L, would be